Derpity derp 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 derpity derp 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 derpity derp 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 derpity derp 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 derp.
Octopus Prime with you once again for a Cooter Report on the Skeptic Fence Show. I'm not sure if all of you are aware, but some of the pop singers that are out there are apparently controlled by Satan.
I saw a video this morning kind of exploring the performance of Beyonce at last year's halftime of the Super Bowl. And it's very clear that she was using a number of satanic symbols. I mean, pentagrams, the goat's head. Remember that satanic statue that's been proposed for the Capitol in Oklahoma? It's a giant's goat's head, a Baphomet. That's how Satan manifests himself, as this goat with these very long horns, has a pentagram above it. And Beyonce had a ring with Baphomet on it. She had pentagrams as a part of her routine, the formation of pentagrams and the part of her routine. And at one point, even her facial features change at halftime. She lays down in this circle, and when she gets up, it's like the expression on her face changes, and she had this look on her face. She went from being sort of the girl next door and light and bubbly to something dark and malevolent.
I know you guys are dying to see this video that he's talking about, that he saw, that has all this evidence. So let me show you just a little bit of that video so you can see exactly where Brian Fisher is getting his information from.
When we understand how the circle and pentagram are used at times in the occult and Satanism, and take a closer look at Beyonce's Super Bowl performance, it becomes even more chilling. Near the beginning of her performance, we see Beyonce fall to the ground into what becomes a circle of light. It's interesting that after Beyonce lies down in the circle, we then see appear an inverted pentagram. The inverted pentagram in Satanism often signifies the goat-headed depiction of Satan himself. And here we see Beyonce with the inverted pentagram with the goat-headed Baphomet when she introduced the spirit of Sasha Fierce, who she claimed possessed her. Here we see the goat-headed satanic Baphomet on Beyonce's ring. And here we see at Beyonce's Super Bowl appearance, one of her dancers adorned with an upside-down pentagram worked into her apparel. Beyonce, entering the circle with the inverted pentagram, appears to be her way of signaling that she's allowing the spirit named Sasha Fierce, the entity that she claimed possesses her and channels her during performances, to take control of her body. Beyonce has even worked Sasha Fierce into her wardrobe. The Daily Mail described her Super Bowl outfit as, quote, fierce and sexy, which was fitting for the entity Sasha Fierce. The man behind the design, Ruben Singer, says his creation of Beyonce was inspired by female warrior gods in Norse mythology. Incredibly, you can see what appears to be the goat-headed satanic Baphomet worked into Beyonce's bizarre attire.
So there you have it. You have an idea of what Brian Fisher is talking about, and it's insanity. Apparently, anybody, like farmers, are satanic because they have goats. And anybody that has it, like, I'm satanic. Do you see the skull and the pentagram? Oh my God, Satan, I'm possessed.
In fact, the images were so disturbing that her handlers actually contacted people and threatened to sue them if they posted those pictures on their websites and on the internet. It was that disturbing, and the change was that dramatic. Now, Beyonce talked about what happens to her in performance. And she has this spirit called Sasha. It's a demonic spirit that has a name. She even refers to it as Sasha Fierce because there's a fierceness, there's an anger, there's a dark energy about this demonic spirit called Sasha. And she says, what Beyonce says is, I depend on that spirit to give me energy in my performance. When I'm in rehearsal, there are just some things I can't do. I'm kind of restrained in some ways. I'm a more restrained person. But when Sasha comes in, when Sasha takes over, when Sasha Fierce begins to animate me, then I get fierce. The volume I'm able to project with my voice increases. The energy in my dancing performance accelerates. So she felt that spirit come into her and quicken her, and that's how she was able to perform. She's got a name for it. It's clearly a demonic spirit. Use demonic symbols, satanic symbols in their performance.
Clearly, I mean, clearly, she's possessed by a satanic spirit. Clearly, I mean, she's got an alter ego, like a stage personality. Therefore, she is obviously possessed by Satan and worships Satan and tries to promote it like everywhere. And apparently, Beyonce, that knows she's famous and that people will be taking pictures of her constantly, she tries to hide it by showing it off constantly. I don't know. I don't know what Brian Fisher is thinking here. Like, he's uncovered something awesome. No, Brian, you watched a really retarded YouTube video that could have been trolling for all I know, but it has got a lot of it. The video he's talking about has over 1 million views. And a lot of thumbs up. I don't know if it's people that actually believe that she's possessed or something, but it's fucking... I'll tell you what's really scary about this whole thing. That you think it's true, Brian Fisher. That's the scariest part of this whole fucking, you know, demons and everything. That doesn't frighten me at all. What scares me is you. That you believe it and that you're given a fucking platform to spout that bullshit to everyone out there. I wonder if there's any other pop singers out there that are doing satanic demon worship and shit like that. I wonder if there's any more right-wing Christian personalities out there that'll be discussing it. Let's find out.
This one is demonic.
Yeah, oh yeah.
This one is Katy Perry, and we're just watching it here in the studio. If you happen to be watching on Dish, you can see it, or watching on theblazetv.com. But it is demonic.
There's an altar built. She's dressed as a witch. There are beasts on either side of her
with horns.
There's a lot of creepy things going on.
Then she has the Knights Templar cross on her that lights up. She then dances around the broom. She puts a circle around her. The circle turns to fire.
And then she's burned at the stake eventually.
I mean, it's full-fledged witchcraft and demonic glorification.
Yes, apparently everything is demonic glorification. Goats, dresses or whatever people wear, fire, circles. If you got a broom in your kitchen, it's like, you fucking witch, why are you glorifying these demons? That makes no sense. And they look for these symbols and these. It's like, do you really think that Beyonce and Katy Perry are together in this, like, let's turn everyone into a Satanist? I mean, don't get me wrong, I think you have to be possessed to enjoy their music, but that's a joke. I think that you just have shitty taste in music. I don't think that you're actually possessed by Satan, like fucking Brian Fisher and Glenn Beck here.
I look at this, and then I look at, and I remember when I first saw this last night, the first thing that came to my mind was the Democratic Convention. And the Democratic Convention where they denied God 3 times. And I thought to myself, where are we headed as a society? Where are we headed as a society? We are worshiping religion. We are worshiping a God. It's just not the God that says, love each other, be charitable, be good to each other. We are worshiping a God that is not going to end well.
The first thing that came to your mind was the Democratic National Convention. After you watch Katy Perry and you think about witchcraft and people burning at the stake and all that, that's the first thing you think of is the Democratic National Convention. I mean, I guess I can understand. I watched some clowns the other day, and it reminded me of the Republican National Convention. You never see Glenn Beck or Brian Fisher bitching about people like Michelle Bachmann when they look batshit crazy like this. No, see, that's totally okay. We won't mention that. Whereas people like me, we look at that and we're like, all right, that's actually crazy. That's actually scary. But not to Brian Fisher and Glenn Beck. They don't care about that. I doubt they know the political views of Katy Perry and Beyonce. They just are looking for some tabloid junk to spread to their fucking moron viewers. Yeah, well, good job. You did it. You've convinced them. But it's for being the dumbest horn kickers I could find that I give Glenn Beck and Brian Fisher the Cooter Award.
Derp 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 derp